Yesh, also known as God and Yahweh or Jehovah, or simply existence, among thousands of other names scattered throughout creation, is the monotheistic God of the great Abrahamic religions known as Christianity and Judaism. Yesh is the God of the covenant, known as the Father and Creator of angels, and Jesus Christ, Lord of the heavens and the absolute ruler of the Megaverse. He is the primordial God of existence, light, good, purity, heaven, order, and all creation. The existence became the primordial entity that rules over the light and the creations. God is the all-powerful deity of all creation, being a pre-existential entity and existing as one with all existence, remaining immersed in his creation, being known by different names and titles, with all the other gods and deities of other religions spread across the earth being just shadows of his unfathomable and ineffable self, with his most common name being the God of the Bible or Abrahamic God. Though a deity of sheer power and known to all mankind, God is largely unknown in a personal way, with very little known about him and his family, with all accounts of his appearances to biblical and Talmudic figures actually being manifestations of his shards and avatars, the most famous of which being Yahushua HaMashiach, the Anointed One. God is truly the Godhead, that is, he is the essential aspect of the Most Holy Trinity, as well as the eons, and the monad. He is the transcendent mind or unlimited unconsciousness of existence that exists guiding the entire narrative of the universe silently, like an author writing a story, guiding each ant, each bacteria, each human, each angel, eon, demon, avatar or primordial. Yesh, sometimes identified as Jehovah, Yahweh, and more commonly known as God, is the supreme creator of the Abrahamic religions, recognized as the one and only God in Christianity and Judaism, of whose divine presence all other divinities and alternate faiths and religions are nothing but pale shadows, and who stands outside of creation as its absolute ruler, enigmatic, ineffable, and only ever manifesting through mere avatars of his being, such as the Jesus Christ, the Anointed One, who many believers recognize as the Son of God and the Good Shepherd who would guide humanity to the direction of its Creator, though even such avatars are still shaped entirely by the eyes of those who behold them, and thus their words ultimately reveal more about the person with whom they are communicating than about God himself. Every being that exists, has existed, or will exist, as well as every planet, world, universe, and multiverse, along with the Megaverse itself, was created and determined by his will. God is the verb that generated and created the world in his image and likeness. The verb was with God, it was God, and without him nothing that was made would come into being if it weren't for him. It is correct to say that almost all beings are, in some way, children of God, as he is responsible for the creation of all beings, including demons. He is the creator of the Megaverse and almost everything in it, including angels, humans, and some gods. Arguably, God is the most powerful being of all, being the first and the one above all, being known for creating heaven, the Megaverse and all that resides therein, and claiming benevolent dominion over it. The exceptions to this rule are other pre-existential entities and their creations. God is also generally defined as an intangible, invisible, incorporeal being without any human biological sex, but due to his role as the creator of the cosmos, God has been interpreted as a male figure, being called Father, although God is better classified as forefather of the universe. Since God is conceived of as neither a corporeal nor an incorporeal being, he cannot, and some say he shouldn't, be depicted in a literal visual interpretation. Some religious groups use an elderly old man to symbolize God because of his role as the father of the universe and his act of creating man's mind in the image of his own. God was conceived of as being unfathomable and ineffable, and immaterial, spiritual, immortal, ageless, timeless and aspatial, being a personal being, the source of all positive moral obligation, and the most real being possible. God is the primordial source of everything and anything. He is the primary cause, the unmoved mover, the uncaused, self-generated and eternal cause. He is the source of existence, creation, being and everything. He is unique, ineffable, and absolute, the personification of omnipotence itself. God is the supreme creator of the three great Abrahamic religions, the Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Adored and revered among humans as creator and savior, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient, and the only true source of love and justice. Such was the glory and majesty of the Supreme that, his attributes and qualities were beings of their own, each possessing his own personality and will, which later came to be molded into the avatars of God as YHWH, his wrath, Nebro, his apathy, the Ancient of Days, his order, the Holy Trinity, his love, among others. God is the origin of everything and anything, including and excluding himself. According to Michael, he is the first and original primordial embodiment, representing the is and is not, everything, and nothing, and existence and non-existence. He is the coin with the sides of good and evil, the absolute embodiment of the absolute zero, the origin of everything or anything that exists, will not exist, and does not exist. He is worshipped by humans as the monotheistic deity of the Abrahamic religions, consisting of Christianity, Judaism as well as other religions Abrahamic. Due to the immense size of these religions, he is considered to be the most important deity across all of religions, despite him claiming not to be a deity in the same way other deities are. God is mostly amoral and indifferent to earthly events, but oversees every multiverse and the Megaverse should things get out of hand. It is rare for him to interfere in the affairs of mortals because he respects free will and believes that mortals have enough power to create their own destiny and history without him interfering. God's plans are also considered highly mysterious and confusing, to the point where not even his angels, eons or emanations are able to understand his mode of operation, except if he says so himself, and even then it is difficult to understand. It is believed that anyone can get so mad trying to understand his ways that their brain turns into a black hole. Though he is an entity of pure goodness, God is ultimately a purely ontological force, being unknowable and inert, and remaining ever distant from his creations, with most accounts of biblical and Talmudic figures interacting with him being actually interferences from his avatars or the archangel Gabriel, the messenger. In spite of this, he remains a central figure in the grand scheme of the narrative, with his influence subtly guiding all of existence towards a state where goodness outweighs evil, with every event that ever took place in the universe, regardless of how unfortunate, ultimately leading up to the day where the world will bloom into a state of pure harmony, in tune with its creator.